From the Black Swan Media Studios, deep inside a secret underground bunker, we're speaking to freedom-loving patriots from all around the country and the world. Welcome to the Resistance. This is John Crump, live.
We usually only do John Crump live on my Rumble channel, but today we are doing it from here because A, we have a special guest, and for B, I feel we are joined by Flying Rich, who is not the special guest. He is the co-host of John Crump
I'm
Live.
special, but not that way.
That is usually broadcast Monday through Thursday on Rumble at 5 p.m. Eastern, but we are joined by the one, the only CRS Firearms, Matthew Hoover. And welcome back, Matt.
Well, thank you. It's good to be back, too. It was a long, bumpy road, but I'm back now.
Long, bumpy road. How does it feel to be out?
Amazing.
And it hasn't worn off, because I can see you're completely jacked up about being out.
Yeah, I'm still cheesing.
I would be. I mean, a huge thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, because when you're sitting at the front end of the sentence, too, it seems like it's never going to happen. It just feels impossible.
Hold on here. Hold on. Wait. I don't know if you remember me, but I met you and Erica when your case was going on. I'm glad you're free. $80. All right. So I got to ask James, do you want that $80 to go to Matt? Because otherwise it's going to Crump.
Yeah, if they want to do a merchandise or whatever, yeah, do that. But otherwise, stream rules are who's ever hosting it gets all the super chats.
Don't really matter to me.
Well, if you want, you could buy $80 worth of the merchandise then.
Or hit Matt's Cash App.
Yeah. All right. So, Matt, why is my screen is really, really dark here? Let me just try to do something really quick. Oh, there it goes. What the hell?
So, Matt, I thought you were going to be like some jacked animal coming out, because you're telling me, like, I did 200 push-ups in 10 minutes. I did 200 burpees in 10 minutes.
Well, I'm just starting to put on size now, because you're always in a calorie deficit in prison. Like, it's almost impossible to get the calories you want.
Because you do look skinnier.
Well, yeah. I got a belly on right now, because as soon as I came out, I started just eating everything, because I'm trying to get my biceps bigger and all that stuff. But it takes time, because working out is a marathon. It's not something where you can just like zap into it. And so I was basically starved the whole time. Well, now I'm not. So now I got the belly on, and I'll start putting on size.
So let me ask you a question. If you had nobody on the outside putting money on your commissary, I mean, would you just die of malnutrition?
No. So what they call that is living off the land. There's a bunch of people that have money coming in, and you offer services to them. Like you steal food out of the kitchen, you smuggle things back and forth, and that's how you're either paying somebody to do that stuff, or you're the person doing that stuff.
Gotcha.
That is awesome. I mean, that is not awesome. That is sucky.
You do what you got to do.
Yeah. So let's walk through this. When you were convicted, and they remanded you into custody, what was your first thought?
Oh man, dude. So I'm waiting for the jury to come back. Because they asked us to stand. I got sweat rolling down my back. I'm like, oof. Sink or swim. Here it is. And the jury comes back and they read Irvin's conviction first. Guilty on all counts. They go through it one by one. Count 1, guilty. Count 2, guilty. I'm like, what? Those are structuring counts. How did he get found guilty on that? The bank testified that didn't happen. Count 3, guilty. And then he sat down. So then it was my turn. I'm standing up. Well, I'm still standing up. I can't remember if he sat down or if he had to stand up. Either way, the point is, all right, so count 1, guilty. Count 2, innocent. Count 3, guilty. 4, guilty. 5, guilty. I think 6 and 7 was innocent. I got found guilty on 5 counts out of 7. So I'm like, oh, man, I don't even know what to do, because the only reason I had my family and everything in Florida was because the prosecutor subpoenaed my girl in so she couldn't be at the trial, because she didn't want the jury to see my kids and my family and all that. So she just made her a part of the case, but then at the last second pulled it out. But she was the last witness on the schedule, so none of my family was there at the whole trial.
But wait a second. I got a question about this because Erica's your wife. She can't testify against you.
Correct.
So how could the prosecutor put her on a witness list?
Well, because she said what she's going to do is give her immunity. And, well, at first she was like, well, the wedding's a sham, so it doesn't matter. She's got to be here. So then we have a lawyer send the prosecutor evidence that goes back, I think, like 10 years. Like me getting her the promise ring, then me making Facebook posts, like all this in receipts. Like, hey, once we get this stuff taken care of and we're going to get married, then December before the auto key card contract even comes, me proposing to her on Facebook, and then so on, and it goes all the way to where we were, and it was unarguable that it wasn't a sham. Like there was clear receipts backing everything up. So she's like, well, I'll just give her immunity so that it doesn't matter. And I don't understand how exactly that made a difference, but apparently it did. So she was able to stay on the subpoena list. So then her, my family, and everything had to come down to Florida with me because she was going to be at trial. And then they just made her the last witness that was going to testify. And then the day before she testified, they took her off of the list. So this way she was, huh?
So you think that was intentional?
Well, yeah, because this way the jury can't see my kids and wife in the peanut gallery. It makes me look more.
You're a felon.
Yeah.
You literally, and I watched Dark's show that you were on last night. I watched that this morning. So you literally are the worst machine gun offender federally in the United States.
All right, we'll get to all that in a second, but I want to get like what he was feeling.
Oh, so then my whole family's down here, and I'm guilty. And then they're like, we're gonna take a recess for half an hour. She basically points at me, don't leave the building. I'm like, oh man. So they take a recess.
Now the judge said that?
Yeah. So the judge takes a recess back, and then we're like, well, what's gonna happen? And they're like, I don't know. They may incarcerate you. You know, you got to be prepared for that. I'm like, well, if that happens, I'm gonna give you my possessions, and then you're gonna take those to my girl, and then she's just gonna have to find her own way back. So, anyways. We come back out from recess. We come out there, and then the prosecutor has print-offs from comments from your videos, from my videos, a bunch of other videos, basically making the case that now that I'm convicted and it's no longer – because she made the case that I believed that I wasn't going to get convicted. So that's why I was able to stay on the street. But now that I've been convicted, I'm for sure going to get convicted. I'm going to come after her and cause her, the judge, or someone bodily harm. And then they had comments. I didn't even make the comments. These were comments on your videos from – your subscribers and comments from my subscribers. I didn't even reply to them. Neither of us hearted them. They were not related to us in any way. Well, anyway, so then that was basically like, all right, so we are going to incarcerate him. And my lawyer's like, well, he's got his family here and that. And that was basically the end of it. Like, hey, you know, that was the nail in the coffin. They were basically going to incarcerate me anyway. They were just looking for an excuse, and that satisfied the excuse.
So, all right, and so there's an option that you're found guilty. You could remain on bond, on bail until sentencing.
Yeah, that's what a lot of the J6ers had. They self-surrendered to prison and everything because they have no criminal history.
They didn't want to give you that option because Laura Crawford Taylor was assuming that you were going to try to do something.
Yeah, she was concerned I was going to cause her bodily harm or the judge bodily harm or motivate my subscribers to, because like,
motivate. All right, because I'm trying to connect the dots here. I'm like, Matt, I know you. I mean, you're pretty much a pacifist as far as, you know, I've watched your video. You never like, I'm going to F him up. I'm going to jack him up. Never any of that. And you know, we have an audience, and you know, look, there's a standard distribution of normality of the brain. You got some wackos that watch your stuff. You got some normal people. You know, it doesn't mean now what. So
you can't control the audience, is what Richard's trying to say.
No. Well, and she sees us as an extremist. Like, you can tell that's the way she laid out her case too. Like, she was talking about the extreme, because the auto key card wasn't on trial. That was not a thing that was happening. It was, did I make the videos? Did he sell the product? And then to like get the nail in the coffin to get the jury was all like posts and like, so the first auto key card video, because I kept getting comments like, oh, you know, cold dead hands and shall not comply and stuff like that. So in the beginning of my first auto key card video, I'm like, So what we could all do is just drill holes in and a receiver and all make machine guns. Then what is the ATF going to do? Arrest us all? They can't do that. And then I'm like, however, that ship sailed in like the early 90s, late 80s. That's not a possibility anymore. This is just not going to happen. There's not enough people that would jump on board. That is not anything that could possibly happen. So she took that clip, chopped off the back end, and made the case that I was telling everybody to break the law by drilling holes in their receivers. I'm like, what? That's a half truth. Then you know it's a half truth.
So basically, Rich, let him speak.
Okay.
Basically, she did selective editing.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, we played the whole clip, but that one little section, like you could tell she was trying to make me out to be an extremist because that kept playing in front of the jury. She played it like 12 times. Just that little 5-second snippet.
John, what is it called when the prosecution has to submit the evidence? What is it that so the prosecution has to give the defense attorney the evidence they have? Discovery. Okay. So basically the game they played to shove their fist, arm's length up your butt was they just every video you ever did, the discovery was a truckload of stuff.
Yeah, so it started videos before was there a video? I think the video started the day the auto key card video dropped and it went well past, Irvin's indicted and stuff like that. So they took stuff from that videos, but that ain't what won. We beat him in trial. Like we killed him. Like it wasn't a problem. It was the jury instructions that sunk me because those 2 instructions that said it didn't have to function as a machine gun and we didn't have to know it was illegal. So then the only thing left on trial is, did I make the videos? I did. Did he sell the product? He did.
Yeah, we got a Cicero 1776 says, meanwhile, $7 million in healthcare insurance for all the couple with the unanimous jury conviction gets dropped by the judge. We are in the collapse stage.
Yeah, was that a Minnesota story where the judge no way, we're not gonna.
Yeah. But let's just focus on Matt right now because we're gonna get.
I actually thought the judge was going to dismiss my case because it was obvious I was innocent, and the ATF testified that it didn't work and they had to fake the test. And so I was waiting in county to get the letter that, you get to go home, and then it never came.
Okay, so I think there's a couple of problems here. First off, you're a Florida resident, right? You live in Jacksonville, Florida?
Nope.
So it wasn't a jury of your peers?
Nope.
Huh.
Jury of his peers is kind of... that's never been settled whether it had to be there or not. The reason why they did Jacksonville is because they said that's where Justin lived.
Correct.
And Matt was basically like an add-on conspirator to Justin's case.
So Justin was the ringleader.
I mean,
the mastermind.
There was no ringleader or anything, but he was the head of the indictment. That's the word you're looking for.
And tell me if I'm wrong, you were never out of the state of Wisconsin before in your life.
I was when I was a kid. But as far as like COVID and all that stuff, I hadn't left the state of Wisconsin since like 2003, maybe. Something like that.
So after you go to jail, because I just want to put a timeline. So they don't send you directly to prison. They send you to jail.
Correct.
To county.
To county jail. How long were you in county jail for?
7 months.
Some people say that's worse than prison.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. So your ramen noodles, instead of costing 50 cents, cost $2 and I think like 75 cents. And instead of being separated by so in prison you get there, they're going to separate you by criminal history, violence, stuff like that. They're going to segregate everyone. County jail is a mixing pot. I was in there from people that were doing an overnight for an OWI to a guy that was facing 2 PBLs, which is punishable by life. You're in there with the pen boys and everything. It's pretty rough. What really gets rough is when street beefs get settled, because I'm the only one that's not from the area. So people were coming in from the street and, there's the guy that banged my wife. Boom! Just smash them right there in front of everyone.
Whoa.
How long were you in jail for?
County?
Yeah.
7 months.
7 months. And then they transferred you up to Wisconsin.
No, I went from Baker County to Tallahassee, to Atlanta, to Oklahoma, to Thompson, Illinois.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get into. I wanted to get into how many different stops you had and how did that work?
All right, so They pick us all up from county. We went to the airport. I could have got on an airplane there and went to Oklahoma, but the airplane was full or something like that. So then I stayed on the bus and I went to Tallahassee. And there's where I cooled out for a while. I think I was there for like a month or something like that. Then I went to Atlanta, which that place was horrible. I'm glad I was only there for like a week. And then from Atlanta, I went to Oklahoma. That's where I found out where I was going and everything like that. I sat there for about a month, and then I went to Thompson.
And Thompson is one of the better places, federally, I heard.
It's clean, but there's basically no yard because it's a supermax. The place isn't designed for people to be outside their cell. There's no like real day room, so everybody's on top of each other. And that particular warden we had at that time was I don't know the word, so I'm just gonna say control freak. So he went to locking all the doors again, locking us in at count, putting guards in the gun towers and stuff like that. But normally a low, your doors would just be in neutral and you'd be able to like mingle. And they're usually like set up more like Orange is the New Black, where it's just cubicles.
All right, I got you.
So one thing about prison, you thought you were going to go to a Fed jail that was like minutes from your house, minutes from Coloma.
Yeah. So I was told that because it's likely that people knew me there, that's why they didn't send me there. Because I guess if like you're on a yard and a guard's like, hey, I know him, boom, straight to the shoe and you're shipped off. And I do know for sure there was people at the prison that's close to my house. So I think that they're like, hey, he can't come here too because we know him.
All right, so since they knew you,
yes.
So when you get to your final destination, when you check in, did anyone there recognize you from your videos or anything?
All right, so now check-in, that's what a term used in prison mean. You opt out of the yard. You go to the shoe and you just sit in the shoe. So I didn't check in.
Well, not check in. You know what I'm talking about. When you arrive
when you arrive at the hotel and you give them your credit card and
I just want
driver's
to clarify that because check-in or taking a left is what they call it if you're denying the yard. And you can do that for a while. Anyways, what was the question again?
Like
when you get to
recognize you from your videos or knew who you were.
Oh, no, because now we're at a low and I'm relatively new. Besides a couple of January 6s and like some random people that come in, usually because a prison sentence, like the average is 7 years. So people have typically been down for a while and now they've worked their way down to a low. And my channel didn't hit till like really 2018 or so. Now, I was in county, I had some fans come in who knew me and everything. But because prison, everyone's there for so long, nobody knew who I was. Except for the guards, which is the exact wrong people who you want to recognize you and stuff.
Yeah, I heard that could be if the guards are like buddy with you because of your videos or whatnot, that could be an issue with the other inmates.
Yeah, they were pretty cool about it. I only had one guard come up to me, like, I shouldn't say that. So I had other guards come up to me, but it was usually like a low-key, like, you know, I hope he wins, stuff like that. But like one, like publicly, like came up to me and it was actually upset about the videos I was making about Thompson. Like, hey, you need to quit. You can't be talking about us like that. I'm like, it's my wife's videos. They're like, well, tell her to quit. So,
wow.
Okay, I'm gonna go through a little bit of these super chats just to clear them out.
Okay.
Get backed up. Okay, we got what is her medical status? I guess Laura called for Taylor. I thought she was magically in remission of 100% of her terminal cancer within a few months of the conviction. I don't know exactly what her medical condition is.
Yeah, I don't either. Now at trial, she did have the whole pirate hat thing on because I'm assuming she was doing some sort of chemo, but I think she's healthy.
Yeah. Good to see you're up, Matt.
Thank you.
You did get a raw deal. Back to work. Sorry, I'll watch the rerun.
I enjoy working. It's actually a breath of fresh air, grinding out videos and stuff.
Matt, you are one of the best Americans on earth. I am sorry that we cannot do more, but we always stand with you.
Oh, thank you. I do appreciate it.
And one more. ET Flood is not your grandfather.
It was funny because actually in grade school I had the nickname ET because I was all skinny and I was kind of timid.
Did you eat a lot of Reese's Pieces?
What's up, babe? You want to jump in and say hi? They want to see you.
I'm in my old lady form.
That's fine. That's fine. Just like peek your head over and be like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
We know what you look like.
See with my glasses on.
It's fine. Most people think glasses are sexy, anyways.
Oh, stop.
Hi, Erica.
Hi, Erica.
I can't hear. Why can't you just unplug
Erica.
it? Hi.
Hi, Erica.
Hey, Erica. How you doing?
I am really tired.
Go rest.
I try. I can't. It's so hard. And my mind just keeps going.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah. Why you gotta have this thing on? Why can't you unplug it?
Because otherwise you'll get feedback and it ruins the live stream.
Oh, okay.
I love you too, babe.
All right. Okay, can you tell us a little bit about cars? I found
What
that interesting.
do you want to know?
How do they work?
Cars? Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking like in prison. I thought you were talking about automotive. I got confused for a second.
I thought he was like asking the Jehovah's Witnesses about magnets and how they work.
No, that was Mormons, not
Mormons?
But go ahead.
All right, so now it'll break down by security levels. So your ADX and your pen, those are completely gang run. You will be in a car. And now mediums, it's 50-50. Some mediums are, some mediums aren't.
All right, what's a
Those-
car? Obviously, that's not what I know.
All right, so I'm white. If I went to most mediums and any pen or any ADX or something like that, I'm going to be running with the white boys. It's independent white boys. Or you can run with like the Aryan Brotherhood, the AB, the Aryan Circle, any one of those. You have to run with the gang. That's just the way it is. Now, as you get to lower custodies, you can start backing off of the gangs, and then you can go on what they call me time. That's what I actually ran on at the low because I didn't like the guy who was running the white car, and so I didn't get into that. But the cars are divided up. So like you got the Muslim car, you got the Christian car, you got the GD, Latin Kings, the Paisas, the independent white boys, Aryan Brotherhood, all that stuff, and then it breaks down. And then it also can break up by geographic location. So like the Midwest car, the DC car, because DC doesn't have state prison, so anybody that goes to prison in DC automatically goes feds. So they have their own car.
Right.
But they used to have one that was at Lorton that was actually in Virginia, but that shut down, and they built high value homes there now.
Yeah, and because they don't have a prison, it makes the DC car very large. Like they run a lot of yards. The yard I was at was actually ran by the Paisas though, which is a Mexican gang. Now that's not like a gang on the street. That's only a prison gang. So like if you're in the Paisas, once you get out of prison, you're no longer in a gang. Where like the Bloods or the Crips or something like that, you're still in that when you get out. Now they have the Coalition and then the Coalition. This is actually a thing where I was at. The Coalition is all the sex offenders, and then the Coalition is all the Chicago street gangs. Like they clicked up and they had their own ping pong table and everything.
So when you say run the yard, what do you mean by that?
It'll be the largest car on the yard. So it could just be a black car or a Mexican car or a Paisa car or something like that. The largest one typically, like if something's going to happen on the yard, they're in charge of it.
All right, so like basically they are like the dominant
Correct.
of the yard. So whatever happens has to go through them.
Like our yard had a split like softball field and soccer field, and typically they were playing soccer on the yard. Like
You mean the Mexicans?
yeah, the Paisas would have a soccer game set up. There was a sidewalk that they ran like a little flea market on where you could buy all this stuff, and that was all pretty much Paisa ran.
So
They
the
had go ahead.
the Chomos, they must not have a great time in prison.
It's not so bad at a low for them, depending on the low. Now, like this yard was split in two, so you had the north side and the south side, and then it was A, B, C, and D on one side, and then E, F, G, H on the other. So on the other side with H unit and that, no, they were tormented pretty hard. But on the other side, they were pretty much good to go. And they actually had the largest car on the yard. If they wanted to, they could really start pushing it. They do at mediums and stuff like that. Like they'll take their own TV and everything, just because there's so many of them.
And do they refer to themselves as the Coalition?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. They'll get into fights too, because like there's the clickers and then there's the touchers, and they don't like each other.
The clickers and the touchers.
Yes.
Oh, I don't even like talking about this.
You mean like the people that look at stuff and the actual people that...
Yeah. Actually, the hands-on. But most of the hands-on people are at mediums or higher, just because that's considered a violent crime.
Ooh.
And then the homosexuals also run with the Coalition.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's some wild politics. That's what they call it too, politicking, being political.
That's wow.
Disturbing.
Yeah, not just freaking me out.
Yeah, it's a different world. It really is. It's caught me by surprise. That's for sure.
Now, when did you find out when you were getting out?
So I didn't find out I actually had an out date till 6 months before I was getting out, because there's just so much stuff going on right now. The First Step Act, and then I was putting in my motions I should have got the 821, which was denied, and just a whole bunch of things that should have sent me home didn't. So you're waiting. You're like, okay, that one failed. All right, next one. All right, that failed. Next one. All right, that one failed, and you just keep on going. And then about 6 months, I finally got my out date, and it was July. I think it was August, something like that. I posted on my channel when I got it, but I don't remember when it was. I think it was August when I actually had I'm going home on this date, as long as I don't get into a fight or anything.
Yeah, that's when you called me. I was in California, I believe.
Yep. I was so happy.
Yeah, and you called Rich too, right, Rich?
It's funny. First off, I felt bad every time you called me, because I'm like, that's taking minutes away from talking to Erica or your daughters. So it's like you called me. I was setting up for GOA Goals Definition Knives booth. And I'm like, I'm talking to him. I'm not, I'm not stopping what I'm doing. I'm talking to him, and whatever's going on, be damned. So whenever I got a call from Matt, I'm like, I'm picking up the phone talking.
Mr. Paramedic.
I don't mind jumping on people's channels, because it was you guys out there, just keeping the grind on, that kept my family going, and I was able to come home to a house. So anybody that wants me to jump on their channel, just let me know. Scheduling's a little bit weird, but I'll get on everyone's channel.
How do you want them to contact you?
Instagram. That's the best way to do it.
Okay, so IG.
Yep.
Right. Ed Zachary says, will you write a book?
No.
No.
I even thought about making a prison channel. I really, really did. But the closer and closer I got to the door, I'm like, you know what? I just really don't care. And if you really want to talk about real prison culture, you're going to have a divided audience, because you're going to alienate most of your audience, because that's the only way to talk about it for real. And I just didn't feel like it.
So when you got out, you didn't go directly home.
No, I went halfway house.
How was that? And how does that work? I know nothing about halfway houses or anything.
Okay. So
I need you to educate me.
The only reason I even went to the halfway house is because I was a offense level 7, because I sold so many machine guns. And the scale goes 1 through 7. Typically, if you're in prison, you're going to be about a 3. That's just the way it is. I'm a 7, so that put out a public safety factor on me. That's why I couldn't go to a camp, and I went to a low, and that's why I had to go to the halfway house. Now, I was supposed to stay at the halfway house for 3 months, like Justin did, my co-defendant, but Trump's new director or whatever was like, hey, why do we have these guys at the halfway house that don't need one? If they have a home, they have a car, they have a family, kick them out. And so that's what they did. They kicked me out of the halfway house and sent me home, because it's not for me. The halfway house is for somebody that sat 20 years. Most of his family's dead. All of his jobs are dead. His car was repoed 19 years ago. His house is gone. He's basically homeless. He needs to go to the halfway house, and that'll give him a place to live. He gets a job, and he starts acquiring things that you can lose to help bring the recidivism rate down, because it does. If you have stuff on your plate, you're less likely to reoffend. If you're just kicked out on the street, well, you know what? I got locked up for dealing drugs. I met a whole bunch of drug cartel members in prison. I'm going to call some of them up. They're going to send me some dope, and I'm going to get back on my feet.
Well, they say prisons are the best education for
training ground.
You learn a lot. It's more about connections, though. I met all types of people. I don't want to get investigated, so I'm not going to go into detail. But I had people approach me like, "Hey, why don't you come down to Mexico for a few months and do things for us?" I'm good on that, dude.
Pro Say America cheeky fella says, "Hey, man, it's David Vallejo. We used to write."
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate all the letters. I came back with a duffel bag full of letters. Thank you guys. That when you're on lockdown and you get mail, that's pretty awesome. That was nice. I like getting your guys' letters.
Somebody named Sugar Tits 5782 says,
"What's up, babe?
Mark you as a terrorist."
Yeah, yes, they did. I was definitely a terrorist.
You don't know who that is? That's Erica, Mrs. CRS. There.
I'm trying to get rid of the
whole
whole
story. Oh, go, Matt.
I'm trying to get her to host a live stream of that, but she doesn't really want to do YouTube. So you guys will have to help me convince her in the comments and stuff like that.
Oh, I see that. That was one of the things. I didn't know you were going on Dark's channel last time. I'm like, oh, I guess I missed the stream with you and Erica.
Oh,
No, she didn't do it.
it.
Uh-huh. So Dark got you on first, huh?
Well, actually, I did a stream on CRS first, and I brought him on.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So the halfway house, is it like a house or is it like a facility?
Everyone's different. Same with prisons. Like every single one's built differently. The one I was at was a 3-story. It looked like a church on the outside, but I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't a house, that's for sure. The very, very top floor was like a TV room, and it had a bunch of windows around. So I sat up there because it was just nice to have all that light coming on me and be able to look out like that. That was pretty cool. But it was more like not like a prison setup. Definitely not that. But like you don't have a toilet in your room. There was in this particular one. There was a localized like bathroom with showers and stuff like that. And you're no longer locked down for count. So I could get up and leave my room past 11 o'clock. But now like they had the TV room and the weight room shut down at 11.
Gotcha.
What happened to your store?
That was actually my parents' store. I was eventually going to take it over. So that's why I was running and advertising it as mine. Obviously, I can't now. But once I got removed out of there and the advertisement tanked, so did the foot traffic, and they're probably going to be selling it really soon here.
Oh, shoot. Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, the taking my exposure out of there pretty much tanked it because we're in a really small town.
Yeah. You and Justin both pleaded not guilty.
Yep.
There was a question out there.
Yes. No, we did not take a plea deal. They offered me one. They're like, we'll give you less than a year, but you're going to be a felon for life, so you'll never have guns again, and we want you to testify against Justin and say that this was all like intentional and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, so you stood by the truth.
Well, yeah, you have to, especially when they're talking about your gun rights. If I would have taken a plea deal, I'd have virtually no chance of ever getting my gun rights back.
Because usually when you get a plea deal, you give up your right to appeal.
Usually, yes. Depending on what level of appeals, you can still do 2255s, but like a straight up like facial appeal, what I'm doing now, you can't do.
So now, what did they offer you? They're like, hey, plead against Justin. We'll give you
no more than a year. So with programming that, it would just be a couple of months.
And while you're in, any discipline issues? You get into any fights or anything like that?
No, there was some close calls, but no, I was able to calm myself back down.
That's what I was really worried about. I'm like, dude, just lay low, do your time. That I was really worried that just some random crap would happen and you'd get time added.
Yeah.
And I would have.
You were in not you, but the whole facility was in lockdown a lot, it seemed like.
Yeah, definitely a lot. That's for sure.
No, when you go lockdown, it's not like for like 5 hours or 2 hours. It can be, but it can also be a month.
Yeah. Yeah, we were locked down for 70 of the first 100 days of last year.
So basically, you can't leave your cell.
You leave your cell 3 times a week for a shower. And the showers have a timer on it, so it'll run for 7 minutes and shut off.
Holy cow.
And that's it.
Yeah, and then it's got a 4-minute cooldown time. Now, our particular unit... wasn't that way. Because the inmates run things, right? They pretty much don't now because the warden took all his privileges away. But before, if you had enough money, you could pay the inmates, like, give you unlimited flushes on your toilet or whatever. Well, in those particular showers, they made the showers unlimited. So you can just keep pressing the button and keep showering. So
all right, wait. Flushes on the toilets?
Yeah, you get 3 of them in 5 minutes, or is it 15 minutes? No, 30. So 3 flushes in 5 minutes, and the toilet will lock out for a half an hour.
So how did the prisoners override that?
Well, you can reprogram the toilet. there's two ways to do it. You can either switch they would switch the cold water for the toilet, so then it would flush for 15 seconds, and you'd be able to keep flushing it, but the flush would be 15 seconds long. Or when they had the computer, they could reprogram it and just shut off the limits. So then it was still your standard 3-second flush, and you could just keep flushing it.
But I'm like,
Wow.
There's two of you in a cell.
Mm-hmm.
And if you both had bad spaghetti that was tainted or something like that.
So there's no toilet seat. What you do is you take your legs, like let's pretend this is the toilet seat. You push up against it to seal it off. And so you go until you're going, and then you flush that down. Then you wipe and flush that down, saving the last flush for emergencies or if you accidentally press the flush button or something like that.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it works. I mean, it really does. You wouldn't believe it, but it works. You get through it.
Oh, man. Because, yeah, I'll flush like 4 times when I'm on the toilet.
Well, yeah, in county, that's what you do. Because the county had unlimited flushes, you'd start flushing basically as soon as you start going. Because in county, I had a 4-man cell in there, so it was 4 other people in there too. So,
All right, let me ask you: when the night before that you got out, could you sleep?
yeah, I worked out hard in prison. So night came, I would stay up till like probably because we get locked down at like 10, so I'd stay up till like 11, 12 or so, like reading through books or whatever. But I didn't want to start any books. I wasn't reading any books at that time, so I just kind of sat there for a little bit and then just passed out.
Now, but the night before you got released, did
Yeah,
you have a
'cause
hard time sleeping?
I work out hard. Like I worked out really, really hard. Now that I'm on the street, I don't work out quite as hard, and I'm bringing in a lot more calories. So I've got to adjust that a little bit. I can either need to work out harder or start taking in less calories. I'm going to get fat. But when night came, you were dead tired. Like just you couldn't.
So the day comes and you're getting out. Do you stay in your prison cell until you're ready to leave, or do they transfer you to another, like a step down cell, or?
So they call it, you have X amount of days in a wake up. So when you wake up, boom, R&D calls you at the first move. You go down to R&D, and then you sit in there for
What's R&D?
Receiving and departure, I believe.
Okay.
And you go down to R&D. They dress you out. They give you street clothes if you need street clothes, and then they eventually walk you out, and your family's supposed to know you're waiting there, and they confirm that that is the person who's supposed to pick you up, and that is the vehicle, and then you leave.
Interesting. But you like walk out, so it's like in the movies where they don't come in, that you walk out and they
escort you out, and then you sign a bunch of papers like, oh, if I don't get to the halfway house by this exact time, that it'll be a minor escape, and I'm going to get 3 more years added to my sentence. And
so that's the other messed up thing. So Erica picked you up and drove you to the halfway house. And how many hours away was that?
So that was in Milwaukee. I think it was like a 3-hour drive, 2-hour drive, something like that.
So if there's, chemical waste that spills and the highway's blocked, it's 3 more.
You call.
You have
You're
a
like,
number.
hey, I got a flat tire. I'm not going to be there in time. This is my exact location. Okay, now I'm back on the road. This is my exact location. I'll be there at this time.
Yeah, they plan for that stuff. But so you went to Milwaukee.
Yep.
And you said it's 2 or 3 hours away. How many hours did they give you to get there?
So we got the drive time plus 30 minutes, I believe.
Whew. Wow.
You're not supposed to deviate. You're not supposed to stop anywhere unless you have to, like gasoline or bathroom or something like that.
All right. So
come back on. I know you want to.
I'm not.
No, because I take turns with that mice pain.
It's fine.
No.
Tell everyone what a spread is.
A what?
You know what's up. What a spread is.
Oh, you're talking about like a strip search?
I have no idea. I'm not really. I have no idea about prison stuff.
Because you definitely have to do the whole bend over, spread and cough thing. Like that's. I'm ashamed to say how many guys have probably seen my butthole now. Like it's pretty wild.
Wow.
You want to grab the other chair and just sit in?
Yeah.
I'll just take off the headset.
Where's that?
It's in the merchandise filling area.
Yeah.
Zareth is going to join us in the stream.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
there was no chance you were getting a quickie on the way to the halfway house.
You could. It's possible, but circumstances just didn't provide because I needed to see my kids. It had been a while since I'd seen them, and she was ragging, and so I'm like, you know what? We'll wait till I get out, okay?
All right, when you're not totally free right now, though.
No, I got an ankle bracelet on and everything. Here, I'll show you. I got pajama pants on.
All right, so that you got that leg done in jail.
Yeah. I wanted to get some prison tattoos while I was on there. I had everything redone. The only thing that wasn't redone was this one.
I was gonna say, what about that?
Yeah, like this, they had to go over this whole thing 3 times with a single needle. We spent months on this, and then it goes all the way up to here.
Oh yeah.
I got some stuff done on my back. Got my leg done. So
I was watching how they make the tattoo guns,
Yeah, now I can't hear anything.
and that's really interesting in person.
Yeah, so in ours, there wasn't any electric shavers allowed. So they'd steal the electric motors out of like DVD players and stuff like that out of the guard station. But otherwise, normally there's electric trimmers, so then the inmates aren't destroying things to make their tattoo guns. But this warden didn't want them there, so they destroyed everything trying to get motors. The air freshener things, the beep that goes off every
No
minutes.
way.
Yeah, they ripped all the
Damn.
motors out of those and everything.
I can't hear.
Prisoners are like
Source.
the MacGyvers.
Hey, I'm gonna try real quick without the boom mic and that connected, and we'll see if it works. Otherwise, we'll go back to that.
No
Can't
audio.
hear you. We have no audio.
Yeah.
All right, now
I can hear. We can hear.
we hear you now. Ooh.
It was the spring on the mic. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Shit, hold on.
Can you hear him like this? Do I just hold it like that?
I can hear it like this. Why am I hearing?
Yeah,
it?
but you're gonna hear a delay.
It's gonna be a delay. It's gonna be a big delay.
Oh. I don't know. Oh my gosh, it's too much.
Well, here, talk and see if she can hear you on the head, because I can hear you guys like this.
Hey,
Yes.
Erica.
Hi.
Somebody asking you, were you worried about getting additional time for tattoos?
So if you get busted, you can. I actually got busted with the ink, and I'm like, man, please don't hit me with a shot. I'm so close to the door and that. And he's like, dude, I got bigger fish to fry. So he didn't hit me with a shot. Now, if they catch you in the process of getting a tattoo, you're more likely to get caught. Different guards will look at it differently. Some guards are like, hey, as long as you have your needles like in a plain sight where I can easily see them and it's labeled sharp, needles don't touch, you're okay. Some guards are like, if I find a needle, you're getting a 100 series shot. So
What's a 100 series shot?
So it goes in different levels. You got 400, which is basically like you said a curse word under your breath. And 300, you curse directly at a guard. 200, you got caught with some sort of minor contraband. Maybe you got caught stealing out of the kitchen or something like that. 100, hard contraband. That's your fighting, cell phones, tattoo needles, stuff like that.
So it all depends on the actual guard.
Yeah. The guards have a lot of discretion.
Wow.
Wow. No, that is surprising. Now, were the guards cool or most of them not? Or
You do your best not to talk to guards, but generally speaking, they seemed okay. But when you're locked in yourself for long periods of time like that, you learn to hate them. I mean, how many times can you watch a guy walk past your little 6-inch window, stare at you while he's laughing and having a good time with his buddy, and you start to resent him? I couldn't help it. Stockholm Syndrome did not kick in for me. I got angry.
What is that?
Stockholm Syndrome is where like you're incarcerated by somebody for so long, you start to like become their friend and like them.
yeah, some LA Vino Latino says ripe for corruption.
Right? Like I knew this one guy, his name was D. He was at a camp and he made the guards upset. He got caught with a vape. So instead of hitting him with a 200 smoking device shot, they hit him with a 100 electronic device shot.
Oh,
Like that's the kind of discretion they have. So once you get a 100 series shot, you're leaving the camp. You ain't coming back, not for at least 10 years. You're going up to a low now.
So they're gonna move you from the camp to a low, like penitentiary.
Yeah, 100 series shots are a great way to move up in custody.
I
How
got
long
you.
are you on the ankle jewelry for?
I don't know.
Really?
I
Now you
mean,
have to check in.
Yeah, they call me twice a day. Now I believe I technically have like 8 more months of my sentence or something like that. So I think I would come off at that point, but I don't know if probation would put me on one. So I think it'll probably be until I win my appeal. And if I lose my appeal, I should be off within the year.
Aren't they putting you on FML or whatever? FLM or
Yeah, they're
whatever?
supposed to.
What's FLM?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But
I've
apparently
tried-
it's different. It goes from halfway house custody to now your probation custody.
So you're going to have a probation officer and have to report in.
Yeah. I guess it's more lax, so it's a good thing. I was kind of trying to ask questions, but I didn't really understand what they're explaining to me. But they're like, no, this is a good thing. I was like, okay, let's do that then. Like, well, we're doing it. You don't get a choice. I'm like, oh, well, good then. I'm happy it's happening.
You've been out since the beginning of December.
December 3rd.
Correct.
Did you have a job in prison? Someone wants to know.
No, I did not, because the job is where you go if you don't have money coming in from the outside to live off the land. The problem with the job is you set yourself up and you're vulnerable for getting shots. People want those jobs because they're living off the land and you create money that way. But if you have a job, you don't want those because now you're at risk of catching a shot.
Wow.
Now, at smaller prisons, everybody has to have a job, but this one was so large and there was just so little there just wasn't enough jobs. There was like 100 jobs and like 2,000 inmates.
So I was hoping you're going to get a college degree. You're going to come back being able to spell, those kinds of things.
Hey, his spelling did get better. All right.
It's spelling did get a lot better.
So it's on how you, the prison ain't going to be teaching you any of this stuff. I think you can get like a CDL, and that's about as good as it gets, but you can use that time. I read automotive technical books, so I'm really educated in LS platforms, Coyote, and the new style Hemis. Because I'm like, well, if the YouTube channel doesn't work out and it becomes unrunnable, then I'll switch over to car channel. So I started doing all the leg work and the background stuff, so I'd be able to go hard if I had to go that route.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing to always keep everything going. Let's talk about your appeal. Usually the appeals, if they come back negative, usually come back in 90 days.
Yeah. We're past that, so.
And way past that.
Yep.
Tate, when his came back in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I actually listened to the appeal, which I appreciate you guys for streaming it because I was able to, when I got out, listen to it. Dude, those judges were rough. They didn't want to hear anything. You could tell they were on the mission just to alleviate any questions because we're going to affirm the decision. Night and day difference from my appeal.
Yeah, well, the Fourth Circuit is the most anti-gun circuit in the country. It's even more anti-gun than the Ninth.
Yeah,
So-
like they were interrupting Matt. He was basically, it wasn't this bad, but he was basically like, hi, my name's Matt. They're like, wait a minute. He's here for guns. We don't want to hear what you have to say.
So
Like,
they kept interrupting him. And
yeah, he barely could. He could barely say who he was without them interrupting him.
That's crazy.
Somebody says you're under Wisconsin probation via ICAOS. I've heard Wisconsin has very serious probation officers. You know,
My
what I mean?
pre-trial release seemed okay. Now Wisconsin's divided in east and west, and I live right on the line, so it's kind of weird. But other than that, yeah,
Yours aren't that bad.
yeah, I was fine
I'm
last
pretty
time.
sure it's going to be the same one because they came to the house while you were incarcerated.
Don't get me wrong. If you're trying to play games, you could have a totally different experience. Like there was people in the hat. We'll talk about it after I win everything. But yeah, there's people that screw up immediately right out of the gate, and they start playing games.
Yeah. So when you saw your kids for the first time, what was their reaction?
First time in prison or first time out of prison?
First time out of prison.
Oh, that was awesome. They couldn't even talk. They were just cheesing. I'm like trying not to spend too much time on my phone because I needed to catch up with things so bad. But spending time with them, it was this weird mix.
I remember what I gave you before, and you're like, this ain't my phone. I'm like, babe, yes, it is. You're like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. You're like, no, it's not. I'm like, you're like, it was smaller or bigger or whatever. I'm like, that's your phone.
Well, the phones they smuggle into prison were so much smaller. It just made my phone seem ginormous.
I thought you were fucking with me.
No, I really didn't think that was my phone.
Oh, I know that after a few of yeah.
When you came home from the halfway house, what was their reaction then?
Oh, so that was a surprise. She didn't tell them that I was home because I came home while they were at school in the morning. And so they came home from school and Dan was like, Or she just freezes it. She couldn't
Oh,
say
that's too
anything.
cool.
And
You could tell she was trying to contain her tears and hold
Yeah.
her head. But
Erica
Star-
started crying, seeing her reaction.
Yeah, but Star was just like, Dad.
It was awesome.
Yes. So
Oh my
now
God.
that you're out, your peel is going on. I bet it's just. I mean, even though you don't have all your freedoms back, I bet it is just hard to readjust a little bit.
I'm just glad I'm not in Tate's circumstance. Like I was coming home no matter what. Tate ain't coming home for a while if he don't win his appeal. That would be rough. So anytime I get down about it, I'm like, you know what? Things could be a lot worse. They could have hosed me like Tate, and I could be in there like, if I don't win my appeal, I'm not coming home. And then get denied at the first 2 levels. Like, oof, that would just be so awful.
And he's so young, too.
I know. They completely destroyed his life.
This guy Tate, and I don't know if everybody's up to date on who Tate is and what happened. Basically, he got set up by an ATF informant. They basically, he was a naval officer, and always had good reports in the Navy as an enlisted man, and the ATF set him up to buy a parts kit. And when he got the parts kit, they said that's a machine gun, and they busted him on a bunch of things. And one of them was like an RPG launcher that he actually bought in California and flew with. I forget where he is, if he's in the Carolinas or something like that. Virginia. Flew with back to Virginia, and they say, oh no, that's a rocket launcher, and they welded it up 6 different ways.
And they actually rebuilt a fire control group, welded it shut.
That's a little wild.
It's crazy.
I'm like, why would you spend time going after this guy?
I know, right? Like, out of all the criminals in the world, why go after him?
Somebody's asking about Justin. Justin is doing well. I heard from him the other day, actually.
He's doing good. He's got a job and everything.
Oh, good. Yeah, I haven't heard a whole lot from
probation or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I haven't heard a whole lot from the Irvings, but I met Justin's dad, met Justin. Just nice people.
Yeah. Right.
What's
Tate's stuff was all demilled. It was just scrap at that point. And even the receivers that they busted him for or whatever was approved to come into the country. It was what they call a bandsaw cut. Because if you're not familiar with it, it started off that all you had to do was cut a machine gun receiver in half, and then it wasn't a machine gun receiver anymore. We're like, wow, that's not enough. Now you got to do it with a torch. And I'm like, that's not enough. Now you got to do it with
vertical cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah, now you got to do 3 torch vertical cuts, and that wasn't enough. And then you got to cut the barrel as well, which I heard they reversed that. Is that still a thing?
I don't think that you have to cut the barrel right now.
Because you did for a while.
You did, but it's easy to replace the barrel. I mean, you can still rebuild it from torch cuts. It's not.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can rebuild it from things you buy at Lowe's, but that's not the point. The point is, like, they said this was legal, and then they busted him anyway.
Yeah, he bought it off Gunbroker.
Yeah, they said that was a black market.
And that's the thing that boggles my mind. If it was sold on Gunbroker to Tate, how come the guy from Gunbroker didn't get busted?
That's a really good question.
That is a good question. That's one that's been out there for a while.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I have no idea.
All right. Somebody wants to know, how much time did you end up serving?
So I spent 2 3/4 of a year, something like that in there. And then, so April 21st, I hit the 3-year mark, but I'll have been out, obviously. So by the time, like, I'm actually out of BOP custody, it'll be over 3 years. Because I'm still technically in BOP custody right now.
Yeah, but you're just stuck at home.
Yes, correct.
Now, can you go out in your yard, or do you have to stay in the physical dwelling, or?
Well, I forgot about being on house arrest last night, and I took the garbage out all the way to the street, and I didn't get a phone call or anything, so I think I'm okay on that.
I was wondering what you were doing.
So what are the rules? I mean, you can't leave your property?
So they call you twice a day to check in, and I can't leave without a pass, which I can fill out, and I can get these passes, but I've got everything I need here, and she can bring me gifts from the outside world. So
Now, what if, let's say you were a truck driver. You
Okay.
can't be a truck driver then?
No.
I don't know exactly how it works, but they do make it so you can. But it has to be like a truck driver where you'd be on a set route. You wouldn't be able
Mhm.
to just open
You
road
won't-
truck.
You can be over the road.
Yeah,
I'd
definitely
probably
not.
Stay local.
But local drives where it's the same thing every day, where you could be at a certain place at a certain time. That would be okay.
So they call you twice a day. They're like, "Hey, Matt, how you doing? You're in your basement? Okay."
Phone check in. I'm like, yep, I'm awake. Or yep, I'm about to go to bed. You have a nice night.
So same person calls you all the time?
Yep.
Must be a hell of a job.
Right. Oh, so check this out. I go to get my ankle bracelet on, and you have to get approved to drive a car. So I don't have a car at the halfway house at this time because I haven't been approved yet. So I get bus tickets. I take the bus ticket down to the ankle bracelet place. I get the ankle bracelet on, and somehow they messed up my number and they didn't have it in there properly. Well, as soon as I walked out of the ankle bracelet place, it started registering a tamper that I was trying to cut it off.
Oh,
And then I
shoot.
get the call. So then I go down to the bus stop to start taking the bus back to the halfway house. And I didn't know it because I'd never taken a bus before, but there's multiple buses that go to one stop. So I hop on the wrong bus, and it's taking me away from the halfway house down to downtown Milwaukee. And I call the halfway house. I'm like, hey, I accidentally jumped on the wrong bus, and I don't know what to do, but I'm figuring it out. I'll get my way back there. Like, you actually have to go back to the ankle bracelet place. Your thing's registering a tamper, and you're going to get an escape soon. I'm like, oh, yeah, we'll get that done. And that's how it went from there.
How come Gunbarker was not taken down for that transaction?
You think it would have been?
What a lot of people are wondering. Did you somebody saying that you had a USPS contract?
You work for the
I worked for
office.
the
You can't
USPS
do
for
it
a minute.
anymore because it's federal.
Okay,
But
so you
I
can't do
can't
it.
do that anymore. But before I went full time on YouTube, that's what I was doing. I was driving truck for the post office.
All right, so you can't do that anymore.
No. Any federal charge, you lose your badge there. I'm sure if I was like, hey, this isn't related to theft or anything like that and tried to get it back, I could. But honestly, it wasn't that great of a job at that time. It's better now. But at that time, it was split shift. So you woke up at like 1 a.m, then you're running, and then you had to go run again at like 4 p.m. So like it aged me bad. Like that's where I really seen the age go on, and the bags start to form under my eyes and getting gray in the belly. And
Yeah, that sucks. So what's we're getting ready to wrap up here. So what's the future of your channel?
what do you mean?
What do you plan on doing with your channels? You have 2 channels. Well, Erica has one and you have one.
Yeah, right now I'm just doing what I do. The gun news, my thoughts of the day, stuff like that, like whatever just pops in my head, and we'll go from there. I'm trying to get it monetized, but they actually went after my AdSense account too.
Yeah, I'm working on that. My guy is out for a little bit, so
Yeah, if I can get that back, then if I had to, I could monetize a car channel. But right now, I can't monetize anything because I don't have an account.
yeah, I'm working on that behind the scenes. But like I said, my guy is not.
And I appreciate it.
He's not in the office until like next week.
So far, though, I've been surviving from the merch sales and everything like that. As long as you guys keep supporting me like you have, I'll be fine.
And tell them where to go.
And Only Tactical Fans at Shopify.com.
Why don't we just get you Only Tactical Fans at the onlytacticalfans.com?
I bought a domain. I forget which one it was.
We bought that.
Or whatever it has.
Oh, GoDaddy owns that one, and they want like
Whatever the-
$1,500 for it.
I thought it was more than that.
It might have been more than that. It's thousands.
I kind of lowballed them and insulted them, and then they refunded me my money.
So it might have started at $1,500, but after she lowballed them, they jacked it up from there.
Let me take a look.
Because I forget, I did buy something Only Tactical Fans.
Yeah, you got only tactical.fans. So
Okay.
that was a good one too. At some point, when I win my appeal, I will have to move to a .com because only Shopify will ban me as soon as they start selling real stuff on there.
Yeah.
Because I will ultimately probably sell like everything. I don't know if it'll be guns, but it'll be everything.
People are missing the whiteboard of knowledge.
Well, I got the light board of knowledge now. I just forget to call it by that because it's been so long. I'll try to remember in my next video to do that.
Okay. Anything else you want the people to know about your situation or how they can help you or anything else like that?
As far as helping me, either my Cash App or Only Tactical Fans. And
What's your Cash
App? What's the Cash App?
Hoover family
1520. Yeah, Hoover family 1520.
All right, hold on for 1 second here. I'm going to do something.
So Matt, you're going to come on my channel. I don't know if
Tomorrow.
we're going to be able to do it Sunday or Monday.
Well, whenever
No,
you want,
tomorrow.
man. I don't mind going on people's channels because it was you guys out there like driving the support and raising money for me that allowed all this to happen. So thank you. Like I will definitely pay everyone back and come on whoever channel wants me. I have no problem with that. Even the little guys, like everyone was doing videos like it was cumulative. There was no one person that made it easy. It was everybody working together that made it easy.
Wait a second, is this our first live together?
Yeah.
Holy sugar tits.
Why do you want to go live on your channel next?
What?
Because we're about to get off on here.
Let's just be. I'm tired. Let's
Okay,
slowly
okay.
ease into it, okay?
Because I do owe you too. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we still have Patreon, but we really don't use it much because they're pretty anti whatever.
You should get a locals.
We might. We're still ironing things out. I'm still trying to get my feet back underneath me.
Red Dawn Readiness. I haven't seen you for a long time out there, buddy.
Right on.
All right. So we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna play the outro.
Oh, you got to watch this.
Oh yeah, Matt haven't seen the outro, has he?
No, I thought your intro was pretty badass too.
No, the outro. You're in the outro.
Oh, nice.
So we'll play it, and with that, we're out of here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. And if you're watching on John Crump News, expect some big ass breaking news this month from different things that I can't talk about.
Yeah, that's how it always is.
Expect some big ass news that's gonna make everyone happy.